Good evening and welcome this Tuesday night to our October 17th school board work session. Mr. Romano, could you call roll?
Mr. Chumley.
Yes.
Mrs. Brinkman.
Present.
Mr. Rudy.
Yes.
Mr.
Present.
Jackson.
Present.
Mr. Shattuck.
Here.
5 present.
Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any
cards?
We do not.
All right. Item 3 will be student voice.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yep.
Good evening again. So great to see you. Welcome to Merwin. We're so glad you're here. So I brought some Merwin Mustangs with me. So buddy up, move over here. Two boys here, two boys here. There you go. You're getting organized. It's been a long day. It was fall break. We're trying to get back in the groove of things. So, Merwin's presentation today is part of Portrait of a Graduate, and we're really going to focus on collaboration and communication. So as part of the Portrait of the Graduate, we really work hard as Merwin Mustangs to talk about how we collaborate with one another and how we communicate together. And so one of the things we'd like to highlight today is called our Herd Roundup Time. So that's what these friends are here for. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it first. The next slide, here's some pictures of our Herd Roundup Time. Thanks to the amazing work of our assistant principal, Mrs. Harrell, who does such an amazing job with organizing PBIS and this Herd Roundup Time lesson plans for teachers. Our students are continuing to be prepared to create the lives they desire and do what's right when no one is watching. Because every day we talk about our Merwin pledge, our Mustang pledge, and how it looks like at school, home, and on the bus to do the right thing every day. So I need my Mustangs to help me with our, we say this every day, don't we, in our Merwin pledge. Now, there's a part that's interactive, okay? So you know how Mustangs stampede. Okay, so at the very end, we have to have everybody join us in the stampede, okay? All right, you guys ready? I'll get you started, but you rock it, okay? Here we go. As a Merwin Mustang,
I'll be honest, empathetic, respectful, and determined. I am part of the herd.
and it's really interesting when they do that on the modulars, because it's a little rowdy and she's up there, but that, we really do believe that, and any student here would be able to tell you that, what those words mean. So one of the ways we practice those herd expectations is through communication and collaboration, and we do that in our herd roundup time. So we partner up, all of our students here, they have a partner by like the younger kids are grouped with older kids. So you can see here we have 5th grade and 2nd grade, and same here, 5th grade and 2nd grade. There are 2 homerooms that match up. And so every Wednesday, they meet in the library and they get to do certain things that my friends are going to talk about now. Right, ready? So, you're going to introduce your name, and then what you like best about her around that time of your week. You want to start? She's been ready. Okay.
I'm Caitlin Campbell, and what I like about herd roundup is we see our buddies every Wednesday, check out books, and read together. We see each other in the hallways.
I love when I see you guys going out to the bus and Mrs. Harrell comments about the student that can wave to each other, because you like to see each other, which is so fun. I heard some of the parents all introducing themselves, like, oh my gosh, I've heard about your daughter, because they're buddies. So remember, Caitlin's in 5th grade. And my 2nd grade friend, can you introduce yourself? Tell them your name.
My name's Haley, and we do barn activities together, and we do barn activities together like painting and horseshoe and eating popsicles together.
The popsicles were really cool today. And again, that's all things that Mrs. Harrell works with our PBIS committees and plans, so that's great. Okay, so these gentlemen, we have a 5th grader and a 2nd grader again. Would you like to go next? All right, so tell them your name.
My name is Micah, and things I like about like library time or fifth grade play her roundup, buddies. Help us make our flip grid to talk about our goals.
So you're gonna see one of our flip grids in a minute, not these friends, I brought some other friends along to show that, but it was a technical piece that we really wanted the older kids to help, and so they figured out. All right, Max, you ready? And before Max introduces himself and talk, we were planning this last week before fall break, and Max goes, I know, we need to use Canva and really talk about her roundup time. So you can see Max and Caitlin, my two fifth graders, some of the Canva flyers they created. I did not teach them Canva. I think Mrs. Raymond might have, yeah, Mrs. Raymond in the audience here. But they came up with that on their own, totally on their own. I think Caitlin was even working on it at home over fall break. So, introduce yourself and tell us what you like about her roundup.
My name's Max, and I like on her roundup we work on her posters about what we like about each other and different things.
Yeah. When you did that, were you in the library, here in the gym, or in the courtyard?
Gym.
You were in the gym? That's what I like too, because you guys can be like in the gym when there's lots of you and have space. We intentionally do it Wednesday because that's when we don't have a Discover team here, so we use that time slot to do that. So that's been a great thing. We do it every week, right? It's very exciting. So, that is a little more about our herd roundup. I wanted to talk about one more thing, because they referenced it, and it is flip grids. So we actually have some flip grid friends in the audience we're going to show them. So our goal at Merwin, our theme this year, is knowing our story, writing the next chapter. And so we talk about with staff and students that our story is, what do we know? What are we good at? Where have we been? And our next chapter is, what are our goals? What do we want to do this year? And so we really thought it was important for kids to understand their own data and set their own goals and know what they're strong in and know what they need some more growth in. And so all of our students did a flip grid, and then at conferences, the teacher started each student's conference with that flip grid, where the student is talking about, this is things I know I'm really good at, this is an area I want to grow, here's a goal. We even dug a little bit deeper of like, you'll hear one of the kids say, like, when I feel in the red zone, this is how I get back to the green zone, so we use colors to talk about like, how we're feeling and our choices. And so we talked about kids, we included PBIS that way. And then we also talked about how we can make Merwin a better place, or how we can make the world a better place. We also talked about what you wanted to be when you grew up, right? Yeah. So, Mr. Romano, I don't know if there's a third grade video and a kindergarten video to watch. So those are the links. So I'll let you look your next.
Yeah, if you click on third grade.
One thing I enjoyed so far at third grade is all the math and writing. It just is the joy in my day. One goal I have for my learning this year is to learn lots of times and division. One personal goal I have for this year is to learn like times and division a lot. And I want to help my class and learn community by cleaning the lunchrooms, cafeteria, and the gym and lots.
So we have a kindergarten link too, Mr. Romano. Mrs. Saunders did this, so we were like, how are we going to do this with kindergartners? So the kindergarten teachers were amazing. They did one-on-one, and they kind of like did it in an interview. But Mrs. Saunders is like this amazing background. So we're going to watch one of my kindergarten friends too.
Maverick, what is something that you think is interesting? What do you like? What's cool? Okay, so the roller is interesting. Alright, so roller coasters are interesting, huh? Yeah. Okay, that works. Alright, Maverick, if you were feeling in the red zone, or the blue zone, yellow zone, what can you do to get back to green?
you can say quiet and make not get wound up.
You can, but what if you do get wound up? What's something you can do to unwind?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Noise.
You can do some breathing, you're right, very nice. Okay, now, if I'm looking here, you know, 24 capital letters, you know, 16 lowercase letters, you know, 10 letter sounds, and you can count to 28 without making a mistake. Based on that, what do you want to work on for your learning? What's a goal that you have?
Count.
To,
18.
you already counted to 28.
28.
You want to work on counting to 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal for kindergarten, to count to 100. Okay, one more question. When you grow up, what do you want to do?
I guys want to be a police officer.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Thompson would like that. Your future police officer, we'll have to get you into contact. So all of our students did that and shared that. Our goal is, and the teachers sat with kids and like collaborated and showed them their own data. So like for our kindergartner, they're looking at their Acadians data. So you hear Mrs. Saunders say, this is how many letters you know, this is how many numbers you know. So the teachers are going over each student's data, and then that way they're able to set a goal for themselves based on that data. Our goal is then, after Christmas break, to look at, we're always talking about their goals, but to do another one after Christmas break so that we can show it in the spring conferences with families to say, like, look how much you've grown. Like, did you, like, for Maverick, our little buddy, were you able to count to 100 now? So they know that. And then one of the kids said, oh yeah, we're all watching each other's flip grids. I'm like, okay, that's great. Hold each other accountable. So that's where we are now with flip grids and our goals. But I just wanted to highlight too, none of this would be possible without our staff collaboration. All of this work is just what our staff does every day. They work every day to collaborate as grade level teams, and this includes collaboration with our instructional coaches for special ed, math, and literacy. It includes daily communication with intervention specialists, reading specialists, school sites, building leadership team, and admin. It's including, we have lots of UC student interns here. So we have great teachers that mentor them and teaching them about like how do we communicate with one another, how do we collaborate, how do we do that with kids. Their collaboration this year with our newly registered behavior technician and board certified behavior analyst has been a game changer and an additional layer that's just proven so successful. So I'm just so grateful to lead and serve the Mustang herd, where everyone's focus truly is every learner, every day, every way. Just so proud of work with you. So thank you for your time this evening. I really appreciate it. And another shout out to my mother Mustang.
Thank you.
We'll go back to 3.0.
All right, item 3.01, staff recognition.
I don't think a mic can do.
You went this one.
Okay, not working, there we go. Little play. Thank you guys, and so as we move into recognition, we're gonna recognize all of our staff tonight. We had a recent rating from the state of 4 stars, the first time ever, but everybody know that, so let's give a round of applause for that. So one of the things, when I came here 7 years ago, one of the things that our Board of Education wanted to focus on is increasing our academic performance throughout the entire district. And so that was something that we set our mind to. It wasn't something that happened overnight. This is something that happened over many years since I've been here. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of sweat, maybe some tears here and there. Not for me, but probably for me as well, as I went through the process of merging the 2 schools together to high school. But this has been a goal from our Board of Education, our superintendent, our cabinet, treasurer, to increase our academic performance. So to get the 4 stars is something that we will use to spring forward as far as the district, as far as the community, because this is our goal. We want our students to be prepared. We want our students to come out of high school and have every opportunity, every pathway that they can open up to them. So we're really excited about this. We've asked our principals to come tonight to represent all the staff. This isn't something that just happens from just one group. I mean, this is something that academic performance increases in the classroom. That's the number one place where we increase academic performance in the classroom. But there's a lot of things that go into it. It's from our nutrition, our kids' hunger. It's important that we have opportunities for them to get food, so they're not sitting there and they're hungry in class. Things like that. So all the wraparound services that provide, all the people that are up here that provide and help the resources so that our students are in the best mindset to learn. And I think that's really important. So we're very fortunate to have 9 of our principals here tonight. Our principals are going into their second year. First time we've had our entire administrative staff go from one year to the next. So we want to thank you guys. They verbally committed to me that they're going to be here until we get 5 stars. Right? Yeah. You're in front of the board, say yes. Right? So we want to recognize them, but we're recognizing not only our leadership, which I believe we have the best leadership team that I've been a part of in all 32 years of my career. But we also want to recognize all of the people that have helped us get to this point as we move forward. So they're representing everybody from their buildings, from our custodians to our child nutrition, to our cafeteria workers, to all of our teachers, our parents, those secretaries that run the building, as you know, all the things that, all the people that are in the building that help us achieve this. And we're not done yet. We're going to keep moving forward. So we want to thank them. We want to recognize them. But I think you want to recognize them as parents, as a community, because you have first-class education, and you need to be proud of it. So we want our principals to come up, and Jeffrey has a certificate for you, and we'll do a photo op. You know, and so what's exciting about watching the kindergarten is you guys can come up. You watch them from preschool, from when they're with Josh and Kevin, all the way through when they're with Ray, and then they walk across that stage. So we're very, very excited about that. So we're going to get a photo off. Everyone come on up. We have Ray Pogbom, Tracy Ray. So we're going to get a photo op, get it out of the way. As you can tell, Greg and I work together because we have the Bengals on, so who day. Once again, we want to recognize all of our staff and all of our buildings tonight. So thank you for our principals.
For the board because of your leadership and your support. This is a pin that was given to all of our staff. In fact, we're still giving them out. There's so many pins to give out to celebrate. So one for you. Great job. We set a goal of being in the top 25% in the state as our first big move forward. And through the results this year, we were able to leapfrog 28 other school districts, and we're in the top 35% right now. So tremendous gains from this school year that we're not settling here, we're not landing here, but just tremendous achievement in 1 year. So thank you, Randy.
Thank you. That's awesome. Item 4.02.
Good evening. I want to talk to you. We're going to recommend the RFQ for professional design services. Our district, as you know, our district is going through a very ambitious and complicated facilities planning to take us well beyond 2030. So we have to get this right. So what this RFQ will do, it will allow us to examine proposals from architectural firms around the city that we can match up with our goals with what they have to offer. So we have to do an official RFQ to get that input. So hopefully at the end of this, we'll come out with an architectural firm that matches up with what this district needs, and we'll be a partner with the district, the OFCC, and an architectural firm to take this district really facilities-wise deep into the next half century, to be honest with you, because once you do a building, you get one shot at doing it, and that's it. So we want to get this right, no mistakes. That's why we're being very thorough and intentional about what we're going to do. So, thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
So we recommend that you approve the RFQ for professional design services for campus-wide facilities planning services.
Are we doing these at the moment or at the end?
It's an action item.
All right. You've heard the recommendation. May I ask for a motion? So moved. A second?
Second.
Any questions? All right.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
Mr. Shattuck?
Yes.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Yes.
Mr. Chumley?
Yes.
Mr. Peck?
Yes.
5 yes.
Item 4.03, policy.
Good evening. So tonight we have our first reading of our policies. As you know, we have our committee. Mr. Pack and Mr. Rudy and I met last week. Part of the committee is to go through these so we don't have to go word by word through these before you get the board meeting. So we have board members that are available for that as well. We did give you the adjustments and modifications for you to look at. And you can, if you have any questions about that, please let us know. One of us to answer any questions that you might have. I won't go through each and every one of them. I just want to highlight just a few things. As you'll see something about the school calendar. That's the old Blizzard bags. Now it gives the superintendent the opportunity to use the virtual learning as well. I think it's going to be something a little bit different. I also want to pull your attention to the resolution that's in there as well. I know you've probably read or you've seen some things at the state level as far as separating responsibilities from the Department of Education, or what's called the Ohio Department of Education. There's a resolution in there that just protects us and all of our policies, our administrative guidelines, so that if when you see ODE or you see Ohio Department of Education or you see the department, it's also referring to workforce as well as children and youth. And so now that they have it in 3 different areas, I know there's still some discussion about this at the state level, but that's just going to be in there just in case that we need to have that. The other one I just bring your attention to is 9270. Homeschool will now be called home education. There's some different requirements or less requirements now for people that go into home education. That is, used to run through the ESC as well, through the curriculum. Now all we do is you have to give notice to the superintendent that you plan on going through these particular subjects. So you're going to see more about that. Probably going to be talking more about that as well. We have some concerns with that, but there's nothing that we can do as far as that goes. So these are the first readings. Again, if you have questions about that, please let me know.
Randy, I just want to compliment you on our board policy meeting. You did a really good job on breaking that down, and I don't know why I looked at you. As far as breaking that down, and it was did a good job on that. I appreciate that. So
Appreciate that. Thank you.
When you say subjects, so are we talking that new policy is going to say that we can do home education just for certain subjects?
They have to identify the subject areas that they're going to be covering. They don't have to prove that they're covering it. They're just saying that this will be part of what they're going to be doing in home education. So you're talking about math, English,
So
social studies, and science.
are they allowing like split time in school, split time home education? No, okay, all right.
So
But it's just when they're doing home education,
it's really the process
They're just
where you
gonna-
had to go and provide a curriculum that you're going to follow and get approved.
just have to state the
Now you just
subject.
have to tell the superintendent that you're doing this and you will be covering it.
Good.
Which I'm concerned.
Okay.
Well, next up, Chuck is going to bring some information to us regarding safety and security. We're gonna watch a quick film, or a quick video, I guess, first. You wanna get that in? The goal of the video is really just to overview the work that we did last year and has been commencing, or continuing into this fall as well.
Student and staff well-being. Student and staff well-being is a constant theme here at West Clermont. Over the past year, we've had made significant progress towards protecting our campuses and our people through physical, social, emotional, cyber, and crisis response safety measures. For example, we partnered with the Union Township Police Department to hire a school resource officer for elementary schools and introduce a canine unit for our high school. We have also worked hard to secure additional grant dollars to make physical security enhancements and expand mental health services to our buildings. Some of the improvements include wrapping the glass in our school buildings lobbies with 3M safety film, adding perforated window film in numerous locations throughout the district to prevent people from seeing in the building. We also installed safety planners as an additional barrier to vehicular traffic, and we added additional security cameras where necessary in our schools. Many of these improvements were a result of a safety audit that was spearheaded by our Citizens Advisory Commission last school year. As part of their work, they researched the status of best practices in safety and security in public schools. They conducted a student survey, provided families with a safety discussion guide, and presented the recommendations to the West Clermont Board of Education in March of 2023. We each play a part in maintaining the safety and security of our school community. In fact, it's part of our vision that together as one community, we learn, lead, and succeed.
I got involved initially because they were looking into school times for the middle school. And having a daughter that would be there soon was very interesting. So it's on that committee for a period, I had to pull off, and then Natasha and the former CEO asked me to come back on a committee called Safety and Security, which I'm very passionate about. With all the school shootings and the things that are happening in school across the nation, although, statistically, we have to understand that they're still pretty small, but they're just very shocking. But I wanted to make sure that the schools doing at least the right things as much as they can. You can't prevent everything, but at least it was forward thinking and how they can make sure that people call students safe, not just my daughter. And so I've been fortunate to sit on that committee and I feel that Natasha and the school board and the leadership are always thinking ahead. And not just, hey, we've got this covered, we meet all the standards that everybody says we should have. They're looking past that because the standards today, someone will figure out how to overcome tomorrow. And so sitting through that process with other parents and other school teachers and community leaders was pretty insightful for me.
The fire department is very, very active and very involved in the West Clermont schools. And, our involvement continues year-round with the schools. We are actively involved in many of their committees, whether that's parents, students, staff, administration of the schools, their safety committees, their work groups. We actively participate in those. We're in the schools throughout the year teaching CPR, AEDs, stop the bleed. We keep equipment in each of the schools to help us with those safety measures. Obviously, we participate with the schools with the fire drills and other safety drills that they have. So, it is a continuous process for us. We've had excellent working relationship with the school district, with the people in the schools, with the staff, the administration. The schools are a very important part of the community, just like the police department, just like the fire department are important aspects of the community. We're partners with West Clermont schools because we want that environment to be as safe as it can be, just like they want it to be as safe as they can be. So we're 100% part of that safety environment within the West Clermont School District.
I'm very impressed with the level of activity that West West Clermont schools is involved in, and Tosh Adams. I think he's done a great job as superintendent to bring together police departments in Clermont County, as well as representatives of the schools in West Clermont to have quarterly safety meetings. We had an active shooter training exercise in Union Township Health Range at West Clermont High School a few months ago. That went very well. And there were lessons learned from that activity, and it's learning best practices and honing our skills if and when we would ever have an active shooter situation.
Obviously, I can't guarantee anything. Nobody can guarantee anything. But I can promise that we as an agency are doing everything we can to keep them safe. And that's something that if you go to work, for me as a police officer, as a SRO, that's one of the things I go to work every day understanding that I might have to sacrifice my life for those students, and that's those staff. And that's something that I'm well aware of. The likelihood it's not going to happen, but it's there. And we're willing to do that because we are committed to the kids to be safe. One of the newest things that we've implemented safety-wise is at the end of the last school year, we implemented a K-9 police dog into West Clermont High School. This is Naya. She's a 14-month-old German giant schnauzer police dog. She's trained in narcotics and tracking, and she is absolutely adored by the kids and staff at West Clermont High School.
I would say when it comes to school safety, all things considered, I think West Clermont's leading the industry. I think from the SROs to the continued training we do with the school, we still regularly communicate with the school district. We have supervisors, administrators attend school safety meetings on a regular basis. Everything from collaboration with releases about incidents that occur in schools. There's just a constant flow of communication. So I believe West Clermont leads the industry in that area.
The former cop and the wife's permanent police officer, so we're a little more involved in that aspect. Never felt anything but safe in that whole process. I was really amazed at communication because West Clermont School District has 3 or 4 police jurisdictions within it. That's really hard to navigate. Being a former cop, you can sometimes get egos and who's in charge on. I have not seen any of these instances. They all wonderfully together, which I think is really refreshing.
So I think West Clermont Schools is really on the rise and leading a lot of schools in the area and having school resource officers, expanding the programs that they have available. Sometimes having the training in their facilities, but also obviously the Union Township Police Department participating in the training. All departments within Clermont County have the availability of having training that assists us in responding to these critical incidents as they happen at the school. We have such a new facility. It's exciting for the kids. I think it's a good place.
So October is School Safety Month, so we are continuing with the surveys that we did last year with staff. Well, we didn't do it with staff. We added it for staff this year. We're doing the same survey with students and with parents, just to see 1 year later how the perceptions have changed based on all the work that we've done. So I don't know if Chuck, if there's anything else that you want to add. I know you guys have been very, very busy, you and your team, with all the safety measures.
Well, like Randy, I have a long history in high schools. I was the principal of 2 different high schools for 20 years. And we were always, in those days, we were always reactive and not proactive. I released a senior girl at Lovell High School to an escaped convict. He seemed like a nice guy at the time. Didn't work out too well, but after that, we got an SRO and a sign-out process. And then in the other district, we had shooting. And so everything was playing catch-up. This district is truly remarkable, as are the board and our local jurisdictions, because everyone's on the same page. So we've made some significant, gigantic strides in school security in 2 years. Partly based on a grant that we got with federal funds funneled through the state. but also with the cooperation of you, the administrators, Larry, we're all focused on one thing. So we have put in some unbelievable security measures into a district in 1 year that other districts are still trying to scratch together some funds and the want to do it. People talk about it, a lot of them don't do it. We talked about it and did it, so I'm really proud of that. Really proud to be part of this team.
Yeah, and essentially we've completed we've completed the entire checklist from the audit last year. We're still working through the CAC recommendation.
We are.
Okay.
We are. The checklist, we through the safety audit, we identified the most impactful security measures, like 3M window screening, window perf, planters. Those were the 3 biggies that we did, and security cameras. So all of those are complete, yes. And then the CAC thing, we are working through it as we speak, every day.
So any questions for you guys?
Who do we contract with the tip line? I know that the schools are required to have.
Ohio tip line, no, Larry?
I'm not familiar with that.
It's through the ODE, but it's now the Ohio School Safety Network, and it's changed somewhat, but it's still basically the same line. All schools are part of that.
We actually have two methods. One is an internal anonymous form that students can access online, as well as potentially using the Ohio Safer School Tip Line, which is a phone number they can call or text. And they've now added a online form to that as well, as in addition to an app that students can use. The vast majority of reports we get are through our internal district form. The Ohio School Tip Line is nice because it also folds first responders in, but that's not where our families and students have chosen to go to. Most of those go through our internal form, which is great because we get those immediately and can respond, and the teams have been really effective with that.
Because when you talk about school safety, it always starts with the students in the schools. They're the ones that are your eyes, your ears. They're going to hear things. They're going to see stuff. I know that there was a concern at one point. One of the numbers that they were using, I don't know which one off the top of my head, but it was not, I guess, manned at 24/7. So there was an issue or a concern with that. And then again, are we putting posters throughout the schools so that the kids know how to get to them, where to get to it, what the number is?
Absolutely. So the Ohio School Tip Line flyers are everywhere, as well as that, and our internal form are in the student handbook. All of the communications that go out from the building levels every week have links to both of those options for families. It's on our main webpage. Everywhere that we can communicate, we do. Perfect. And which is exciting for me is, especially at the middle school, students have really bought into that as a way to prevent things from becoming more than they really are. So most of what we get are conflict between students, not ongoing issues, but because of the active and quick response from administration to the tips that come in, I think students feel they're being heard, and it's helped them to work through the conflict and prevent things from becoming, bigger issues down the road. So that's what's really been exciting for me to see, is the responsiveness to it.
Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eric. The only comments I have is that our team is working behind the scene, as you can tell, a lot on facilities, needing to analyze where we are with every building. We just got new enrollment numbers that David is crunching. There are some changes in there from what we've presented to you in the past. So we're trying to make sense of all of that. We'll bring that to you in November. And Randy's working with the Impact team to continue to think about transportation, middle school start time, as well as getting prepared for our first town hall in November that will be facilities focused. And so there's a lot going on behind the scenes. We aren't quite ready to give all those details yet, but right after Thanksgiving, we'll be coming together for that. So, all right, that's all I have.
All right. Mr. Romano, you have any comments?
Just one quick comment, and it's really following on the theme of things behind the scenes. But,
of course, then the 5-year forecast.
yeah, that one too. But currently, the auditor state has us audited every year, so we're going through that audit now that has started. And at the same time, we do our annual financial report on a modified accrual basis. We're working up that report now, scheduled to get everything done before the end of the calendar year, so before December 31st. So a lot of work is being done towards that behind the scenes too. That's all I have.
We'll bring the five-year forecast in November. We, our meeting is scheduled for the 17th.
Yep. All right. Got any comments, Mr. Rudy?
I must admit that I was not looking forward to the tour at Merwin, only because I thought I would be very depressed. I was very pleased to see how well you and the staff have made do with what you have. Very bright and cheery everywhere. Great utilization of space. But I still think we need a new building, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. So thank you very much.
Mr. Schaff?
I just want to thank Mrs. Parker for the tour, and this is the first time I've been inside Merwin. Even my previous tenure here, never made it in. For the longest time, I pushed to have meetings like this in the schools so that we could see the condition of the schools and see the kids and have them see us. And I'm certainly glad that we're doing that. And thank you. And this is a great school, and facilities, sure, but it's how they're being developed, and I think that's the key in doing a great job. Thank you. That's all.
Yeah, I have to kind of piggyback off of what they were saying. I do appreciate you taking the opportunity, Mrs. Parker, letting us in the building, giving us an eye view of what the building looks like and the needs that we need for this building. Again, today's topic, obviously, safety and security is kind of my wheelhouse. That's kind of what I like. Mr. LaFont, I appreciate you getting all the stakeholders together, showing a representation of all of the different agencies that we deal with, because we are a unique school district, is the fact that we have all the different jurisdictions and making them all kind of come together. So I appreciate the fact that you did that. So thank you.
Piggyback on what they've mentioned, I have been in this building numerous times over the last 12 years, and I've never seen it look better. So kudos to those that are taking care of the castle here. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, we moved where we moved. This was a big reason. This tiny beat-up building is one of the reasons we moved down the street. So my kids love it here, and we're glad to be Mustangs. So thank you for the video. Once you're done with us in 30 years, you can be a good actor.
Maybe.
We do have a need to go into executive session for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, and to prepare for negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of their employment. Do you have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right.
We will not be
returning out here, I do not believe, afterwards. We will adjourn from there. So.
Not to take action.
All right.
Mrs. Brinkman?
Yes.
Mr. Schaff?
Yes.
Mr. Chudley?
Yes.
Mr. Pat?
Yes.
Mr. Rudy?
Yes.
5 yes.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Our next meeting will be
30th.
the 30th.
October 30th. Back at Union Township. And Dave Lane, right? Okay, somebody's gonna find my letter.